G'day guys and welcome back to Retrospectreviews. I'm Vince and this is what I picked up in the month of June. So let's get into it and see what I picked up. Okay guys, to be totally honest with you guys, June has flown by and I've picked up absolutely nothing. And I'm filming this about a week before June ends and I have nothing for this video. So I am going to head out and take you guys with me and check out 4 locations that I visit from time to time. 3 are charity shops and 1 is the local tip and their recycling centre. Now, to make it even tougher, I've been told I've only got a budget of 20 Australian dollars. And to be frankly, most of these sites charge a minimum of $5. If you're lucky, you might find an item that is been mispriced, or the person at the checkout doesn't know how much it is and will give it to you at a discount. Well, without any further mucking around, let's head out to the first location. Come on, what are you waiting for? Fine, I'll carry you. Okay, starting off here at the first location is the first local charity shop I go to. Been a little bit stealthy here with the camera because there is a lot of needy people in at the moment and I don't want to get them on film. But I finally made it over to where they keep most of the games. As you can see, a lot of Xbox 360, some Wii games, some PC games, but nothing really there that catches my eye, except I did see this Sims 3 limited edition. So that one I think is one that we don't have in Christine's collection. So I was just checking here because sometimes those security codes are missing and you need that to activate the game, which I should learn now thinking about it. So I'm just checking the CD rack here. Sometimes they put the old PC, CD-ROM PC games in there. But yes, I can't really see any there, and I didn't really see anything else that piqued my interest. So just looking around the shelves, I come across this clay animation movie, but once again, nothing I'm really interested in. And sometimes over here, among the books and that, sometimes I find some PC games, and they've also got these bins all of a sudden where it's a mixture of audio and computer PC games, but a lot of it's just this random cheap PC games. There's a Sims 2 there, Muppet Babies. Yeah, just nothing I need or interested in. I'm not really interested in these plastic clamshell PC games anymore. I want the more cardboard box things from the 80s, 90s, and I think they still made them in the early 2000s, but I'm not sure. But anyhow, there wasn't really anything among these that I was interested in, so I moved along and thought I'd check out where they keep the games and the board games and jigsaw puzzles. Sometimes the PC games get put in this section, but today it doesn't look like it. A lot of modern Star Wars. I did spot a Warhammer model, which I'll come back to in a minute, but a lot of it was just jigsaw puzzles of one sort or another. Mostly kids' jigsaw puzzles. There's a card shuffler there that I think I've had a couple of those over the years, but they end up just sitting around. So I wasn't sure if that was a PC game or not, but I I accidentally knocked down this Donald Duck jigsaw puzzle, but I put that back. So just checking there, just making sure there's no PC games hidden. Some of these look like PC games until you pull them out, and then they just kids puzzle games and so forth. So I thought I'd come back and have a look at this Warhammer game model. Now, I'm not a huge Warhammer fan. I do like the models, and I've watched people play the Warhammer tabletop, but This looks pretty cool, but I really, for the price, I think it was it $12? I think they were asking for it, or $10. I'm not sure if I got it. Yeah, $12. Yeah, good price if you're into Warhammer, but I'm not, so I'll put it back. So I just come over to the book section here. So Mac for seniors. I thought that was interesting. I'm not really a Mac person, and I'm not quite a senior yet, so I thought I'd put that back. And just checking the shelves here, they're really, yeah, mostly all knitting and crafting, a few LPs. Moving on to location 2. So this location is just down the road, couple of meters down the road. And the first thing, I went over to where they keep the jigsaw puzzles and board games. Did find this paper airplane kit, was tempting, but I figured I'm not going to get around to making any paper airplanes anytime soon, so I just put that back. But as always looking to see if there's any PC stuff in here, but it was all mainly jigsaw puzzles. There was a couple of games there, Boulder Dash and stuff like that. I did find this Leapfrog, I think it was. Yeah, I was tempted to get this, but I don't have the machine to actually run these. But I was thinking this might have been cool for my little niece. She's not quite reading yet, but she's getting to that stage where she'll be starting to pick up on sounds and so forth. But I realised you did need the other device, and I didn't know how to get it. And then I come across this vintage Huckleberry Hound alphabet game. Tempted to get it, but for $5 it would have burnt through my budget. So I moved over here to book section. I found this. This used to be my mum's favourite poet. Yeah, she had 4 of her books. Unfortunately, they did get damaged and had to be thrown out. Was tempted to buy it, but fond memories of it. But what was I going to do with it? So I just left it where it is. And down here I did spy this Believe It or Not, Ripley's Believe It or Not book. Yeah, once again, have no use for it. And then I finally did make it over here to where they keep the PC games and DVDs and so forth. Everything's just mixed in together. So I've rearranged this, but no water. Yeah, I spotted this PC game. I think it's a bunch of bridge games, the card game Bridge. They wanted $5 for it, and if it was in its original box, I probably would have picked it up mainly for the box art, but I don't need any more of these loose CDs, and at $5, frankly, I don't think it's worth it. So I'll just put that back, and just checking, always checking to see if there's any, if it's a game that I'm really fond of and already have the box for it, I might pick it up, but a lot of these are just those generic, that's just an audio CD. A lot of them are just generic PC games, so wasn't really that interested. So yeah, just checking the shelves here, seeing what else is about. So not really anything jumping out at me. Yeah, like I said, mostly DVDs, and that's about it really for this place. I did see this Mongjong, but yeah, I've got a few of those and I'm not interested. I thought this was an Xbox game actually, but it turns out it was Rugrats. Rugrats All Grown Up, and DVD, so I just put that back. And yeah, so just that's it really. There wasn't really a lot here. I did spy this. I think there was a Toy Story 2. Yeah, Toy Story. It looked odd to me when I first saw it, and that's because the plastic clamshell was missing, and it was just the cover sitting on its own. But I put that back. I don't have any need for that. So moving on to location 3. So here we are. This is also a charity down the road from the last 2, and I found that Fuzzy Bear, one of my favourite Muppet characters, but it was a modern Fuzzy Bear, And I picked up this little toy elephant. I was thinking about getting it once again for my niece, but I think she's probably got plenty of stuff like that. And then on this, I spotted this kids keyboard. Very tempted to buy it. First person I thought of was 8-Bit Keys, or Dave from 8-Bit Guy, but I thought I'd just leave it where it is. I don't think I'd ship that to America. Anyhow, just checking the shelves again for any retro toys, but most of the stuff is probably early 2000s onwards now, but occasionally you'll get an 80s or an early 90s toy tucked away in there somewhere. But at this stage, I haven't seen anything really catch my eye. Just checking the games, see if there's anything up here that might be PC related. There's the Neighbours game. But yeah, I can't really see anything that I'm interested in. I did spy this Hungry Hippos game. I believe it might be a 90s version. I don't think it's the 80s version, but I just can't remember what the 80s one looked like, and it was pretty beat up. As much as I like that game, I don't think I need it. I'm just going around the shelves a bit more. And this, I think it's a Socceroo, or is it a football player of some sort? Then I did spy this other retro game down the bottom here, Monster Crunch. Now, I think this is an early 90s game. I don't personally remember it as a kid, so I do from the cover, it does look very early 90s. And I was tempted to grab it again, but once again, I don't have room for it, and I don't have any nostalgic feelings for it, so I just checked it out out of curiosity to see what it's all about. And oh yeah, and I think they only wanted $2 for it. And then I spotted down there this Stewie blow up doll, inflatable character. I thought it was a bit fun. I was thinking about getting it just as a joke, but at $5, no thank you, I put it back. I did spot this giant Puss in Boots from Shrek. Totally tempting, but I thought I'd leave that there too. And then I did spot this Smurf thing. Now, Smurfs was one of my favourite things as a kid, but this is a more modern version, and it's a giant jigsaw puzzle. Looks like it's never been opened, but once again, I have no use for it, so I just put it back. And then I spied this truck. I was thinking maybe G.I. Joe or something along those lines. We did have a small selection of that stuff in Australia, but I don't think it was as big as it was in America. Moving down, this is where the shelves, they sometimes keep a lot of electrical stuff, but there wasn't much there. I did spot this robot vacuum. It's hard to believe these things are now turning up in charity shops. They wanted $50 for that, and I didn't see a charging bay, so I just left it and moved on. And then I did spy what this Olympus. I believe this is a printer, a photo printer. So it's basically designed just to print photos. Something I don't really need. So I just out of curiosity, I just had a look at it, and yeah, just moved on. I can't remember how much was on that. And this is some photo paper. I don't know, somehow it was not in the same box. Moving down to the real reason I came here, and that was to look at the audio and video media. Now just checking these shelves to see if there's any PC games in there, but I think these were all mainly CDs, audio CDs, so I just left them. Looking on the shelf here, first thing I spied was this PS2 game, Psycho Nuts. Once again, I'm not typically after PS2 stuff anymore because I've got so much of it. But this was a game I just can't recall ever hearing of, and it was only $2. This shop's usually pretty reasonable with what they are asking. There was a copy of Sims 3 there, but we didn't need that, and I thought I'd just leave that for somebody else to pick up if they need it. But most of the other stuff was either just audio, videos or DVDs, and that was about it. There's Pixar short films, and I thought I'd leave that. Don't really watch much DVDs anymore. Most of my films are digital like everyone else's now. We just download and watch what we want, stream it, and that's it. And there was a small stack of these PC Bejeweled games, but I think they wanted $10 for some strange reason for those, $10 each, so I'm not interested in them. I just left them there. Somebody might buy them. And yeah, the rest really was VHS tapes. And on the way out before I left, I did spy this Mickey Mouse calculator executive collection. I'm not sure if that's an official Disney license thing, but I thought that looked pretty cool. But once again, where am I going to put something like that? And I just left it there. Somebody else might want it. Okay, moving on to location 4. So this is our rubbish tip. This is their recycling centre, so anything they don't think is worth throwing into a giant hole comes here. And as you can see in this counter, on this visit, there was 4 original Wii's up for sale. They wanted $30 each for these. Now I've already got 4 actually. I've already got 2 Wii's. I had a third and I sold it. And there was an original Xbox. Once again, I've got an Xbox, don't need it. A flat PS2 and some Xbox controllers there. I left them behind because I don't need any of that stuff. Over here in the games cabinet, this is where I spy something I never ever seen here before, and that was a Sega Genesis game tucked away there between the PS3 games and the NDS. Here is a heap of PlayStation 2 games. These cabinets are full of PS2 games. There was a Sims expansion game there, I think. A small stack of Wii games. And now this really caught my eye, and that was this Deathgate big box. You can believe that was coming home with me. More PS2 games. At $5 a pop, I think they'll be hanging on to those. Some Xbox 360 games. The only problem with the Xbox 360, as we know, you could get the burn rings. Another stack of Wii games. Mostly this was PC games, a few PS2 games in that tucked behind that bag, but nothing of interest. But yeah, that Deathgate was definitely calling me, and I was eager to get that home. So a lot of times I check the cables here, because sometimes you can find a rare and hard to get cable for an old console, so I try to go through these a little bit, but it's just the same old stuff. There's a old printer cable there. That was last time I was there. That was actually sealed still, so somebody's taken that out, and I don't know why. Yeah, just the standard, probably for a camcorder or a digital camera. Yeah, nothing too out of the extraordinary here. Just a lot of AV cables, a lot of power plugs. I'm not sure what that one goes to. Yeah, so just anything that catches my eye, I'll have a look. That's probably off a video camera or VCR of some sort. And yeah, printer cable. Now this caught my eye. I haven't seen one of these for a while, and that is the accessory to go from the PS2 keyboard adapter, so you can go from in the old days we had the big round plug, and then when they changed to the PS2 connection, everyone had to get some of those adapters if they wanted to keep their keyboard. And here's a keyboard extender for the keyboard connection that I was just talking about, the AT connection. But once again, I didn't need any of those. So moving on, I found another cupboard that is new since I last was there, and it was full of mainly PC games, but I think there was a few PS2 games and a few other things in there, but mostly it was clamshell PC games, but nothing in there that I desire or need, as I'm trying to avoid some of these kind of PC games. I'm not really a big fan of the clamshells, but it's always worth having a look because you never know what might be inside. There's another Sims 3 game expansion pack, but all of these I either have or have no real feeling for. There was Fear 3, another Sims future, so that would have been interesting to get, but yes, we already got all these Sims games, so I just left them there. So moving over, just having a quick look at the bookshelves. One book that, a lot of cooking books there, but one book that did catch my eye, which I'll move over and have a look at, is this game and puzzle book, or choose your own. I like to call them choose your own adventure, but they're a little bit different, but pretty much the same basis, just pick a number and turn to the page as you're playing along. So couldn't leave that alone. Well guys, back from the 4 locations where I usually go looking for some retro games, and I got a bag full of stuff. Now, did I get a bargain? Who knows? But I stayed within my budget. So let's check out what I got. Right, so the first thing I picked up was the Sims 3 Into the Future expansion pack. Now, this is the 11th and last expansion pack for the Sims 3. Now, I mainly got this because Christine is collecting the set of the Sim games. She pretty much has all the first Sims except for the big box version of Making Magic, and I believe she has completed the complete set of Sims 2. But in Sims 3, she's still after 2 more, I believe, but this is the last one that was released for it before they moved on to the Sims 4. Now, with this one, quite happy. It came complete. One of the biggest drawbacks of buying the Sims games second hand is usually these missing these security codes, which I think I'll block that because somebody might be able to use it. So yeah, it's not a good idea if these go missing sometimes. But other than that, the disc is in good condition. Now with this, as I said at the beginning of the video, a lot of these places, normally this place will charge a minimum of $5 per game, no matter what it is. Sometimes if they have an inkling that it might be a AAA title, you know, or a GameCube game or something like that, somebody will tell them it's super rare, they will whack on a huge price. Yeah, so normally they charge a fair bit for these games at this particular location, but this didn't have a in-store sticker. It had the original price, $49.95 from EB Games, but yeah, when I got to the counter, I was expecting a minimum of $5, maybe $8. Sometimes I've been charged $8 for a game that you can buy brand new for $8 at EB Games, so I've put it back. But the lady wasn't sure, and she just said, "Oh look, give us $2 for it," and that's what I got it for. I didn't pick anything up in the second location. They're another one that has really high prices. Somewhere along the line, somebody's told them that retro gaming is a thing now and people are collecting and, you know, scared that they're going to be selling something too cheap. But 90% of the time, as you saw, there was that PC game, loose CD for Bridge. I think it was Bridge Games. They wanted $5 for it. Look, it's not worth $5 in my opinion. But hey, anyhow, moving on to the third location, which I was really surprised that I actually found something, and I found this Psycho Nuts. Now, I've never heard of this title before, so I was a bit surprised when I came across it in the listing. I've been trying to avoid getting any more PS2 games, because PS2 games, they're a dime a dozen, and I see them everywhere. As you saw in the video when I went up to the recycling centre, they're everywhere up there, and a lot of them are the same type of titles over and over again. And yeah, but I was surprised this was only $2. So, and it is in really good condition. A lot of the times when I see, get this tape off here. Oh. A lot of the time when I see these titles, the covers are in really good condition, but they've got the tape on it, which I just took off. And I find that the disc or the manual's missing, or the manual's it's got the wrong game in it. So I was quite pleasantly surprised to see what a good condition this is in. And originally they wanted $2, but when I got to the counter, they were having 50% off, and I got this for $1. So I'm really happy with that. Moving up to the fourth location, I came across, as you saw in the video, PGA Tour Golf 2 for the Sega Mega Drive, or the Sega Genesis. Now I've just, if anyone's been watching my videos for a while, you know that I have a strange, unintentionally collection of golf games. Yes, I seem to be collecting. I might have to do a video and then just show you all the different golf games I have over different platforms. But I was pleasantly surprised. I don't normally come across Genesis games, especially in the recycling center, like I have. Unfortunately, the manual is missing. It's got everything else though, the registration cards and so forth. Now, this does look like it's had something spilt on it, so I'm not 100% sure what has gone on there. But other than that, the cartridge looks pretty clean. So I'm going to have to break out the Sega Mega Drive or the Genesis and give it a go. Now, this, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work in the PAL region. It does say it is for 16-bit cartridge in the USA, assembled in the US of A, but that doesn't mean it won't work, so it's just a matter of trying that out. But other than that, it's in pretty good condition. Okay, now the next thing I got at the fourth location was this. Might have to adjust the camera for this. I got this Deathgate game. Now, well, whoop. Okay, got this Deathgate game. Now this is basically more of a text adventure game, even though it's got graphics in that. It was made in 1994, but Legend Entertainment, the company that made this, had this belief that the text adventure kind of thing was still going to be huge and big, I guess, or they just liked making the games that way. This was based on a best-selling book, so it does have graphics, but unlike Sierra or LucasArts at the time, it's more of a first-person perspective, a lot of text to read. It's technically not an RPG either, but it does have that feel. Okay, so inside the box, everything's there. So somebody actually included this World of Warcraft or Blizzard poster with World of Warcraft, Diablo 2 expansion set, and Warcraft 2 and a number of other things. This came out, Warcraft 3 and some of these other games came out about 10 years after this game, so someone's put it in the wrong box. But this version of Deathgate came with the CD-ROM, which is the better version technically. It has heaps of voice-activated characters, better graphics, and better cutscenes, which you don't get if you only bought the floppy drive or the floppy disk version. Comes with the Deathgate manual, a bonus CD from CD Magazine with some demos on it, like Strike Squad and Dark Forces, and also came with the original receipt. So somebody back in '94 paid $69 for this game. So I don't know if that was a bargain back then, but yeah. So anyhow, and you also get this little booklet, Forever Falling, a Deathgate story. So have to have a look at that. And there's a few other things, like more about what games Legend Entertainment make. Apparently that is a really popular game as well from the Legend, if you ever come across it. And just a warranty card really, and that's about it. So I got all those in that one. I'm quite happy with that. Now the box is a little beaten up, but I still think it looks pretty cool. It actually does it a bit of favour. I think it makes it look a bit more of that old school retro game, you know, that's been into battle and back and forth. So I quite like that. And moving on to the next thing I got, I picked up this Dragon Quest, solve the puzzle and find the treasures. So it kind of is a bit like choose your own adventure, where you have to play the game, and then it tells you which way and what page to turn to. I'm really fond of these choose your own adventures. I do have a large collection. It's the kind of the catalyst to my love of adventure games, I guess you could say, because I've been reading these books since early primary school. I used to have some stack of choose your own adventure books for young primary age school kids, but I lent them to a neighbour over probably 30 years ago now. Maybe not, yeah, probably about 30 years ago. And we moved away and I never got them back. But I still do have a huge collection of other choose your own adventures that I've had since my childhood, and been recently picking up whenever I see them. So maybe I'll show them off next time in a video. So I picked that one up as well. Now lastly, so all up I paid what's that, $5.10. So all up I paid about $13.50, so I was well under the budget. And at the last minute, I did catch on eBay, somebody was selling this Age of Adventure, and it has turned up in time, sealed. It is for the Atari home computer, 8-bit computer. It's a floppy disk of this. Now this has 2 games in it, and mind you, this is sealed, so it has never been opened. It was released in 1986. Now the 2 games on here were released in the early 80s for the computers. But then they put it in, Electric Arts put it in a dual combo buy here. So the first one is Return to Hercules, and the other one is Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Now the same guy that made these, Stuart Smith, he also created a make your own adventure engine where you could make your own games. It's the same computer or game engine that he made these 2 games on. So basically I guess it's like this is as close as you're going to get to an RPG from back in the day, where it's turn-based combat and adventure. So it's pretty much Hercules and Alibaba, two games in one. So that is what I got. And that was, believe it or not, only $4. I think I paid $4.95 free postage for a sealed Atari home computer from '86. And I like the cover art, it's quite cool. Well, that's it, guys. That's everything I got in the month of June, or should I say the last week in June. So in the comments down below, let me know what you thought was the best thing I picked up, and was there anything in the video that you saw that you think I should have grabbed or picked up? And don't forget to like and share this video, because it does really help it out. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because it lets you know when I upload a new video. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye. Well guys, back from shopping. I got a small bag here full of